If you've just had a baby that has been diagnosed with HIE and now maybe the doctors are talking to you about a potential subsequent CP diagnosis, you might be thinking about speaking with a lawyer because of all of this. And then the fear hits you. How much is this going to cost? Will I be expected to pay up front to just find out what happened? What if this case moves forward? How are lawyers going to get paid? You are not wrong to ask these types of questions. And in fact, over the last few weeks, I've had multiple people that have reached out to me, some through DMs, others offline, and almost every time, two of the same questions always come up. And it's, how much will it cost to have a lawyer look into whether this was malpractice? And the second one is, how do lawyers get paid in these types of cases? So what I want to do today is I want to walk you through this and to help you be able to make some informed decisions and avoid surprises. At my law firm, I'm not going to charge you any money up front to investigate whether you have a valid birth injury claim. That initial step where I have to review the medical records and to look into what happened during labor and delivery is something that I have to do anyway. In these cases, the answers are just not obvious. They live in the fine details in the medical records, and that's going to take time and analysis to do that. I'm not going to ask families to pay me money initially to do that step. But you need to understand that not all law firms are going to work like how I'm explaining it at my firm. Some law firms, they may ask you to pay them money before even beginning the investigation. That could mean covering the cost of experts to do initial reviews or order medical records and any other types of early expenses. So before you commit to anything, make sure that you ask the lawyer directly, how will they handle this part? Ask them, will I have to pay any money up front just to learn whether or not I have a case? Don't assume that every firm is going to work the same. You need to have clear answers on that. Now, let's say the lawyer believes that you have a valid case and decides to move forward with things. How do they get paid with these types of birth injury cases? These cases are usually handled on what's called a contingency fee agreement. And that means that the lawyer is going to get paid if there is a recovery, like a settlement or a verdict. If there is no recovery, there's not going to be a fee generally with these types of agreements. But the percentage of what that fee is, that legal fee, it's going to depend on your state. Some states will allow 30%, some 33%, some 40%. Others are going to use a sliding scale where the percentages, they change based on how much money has been recovered. And in certain places, a judge may have to approve the fee to make sure that it is a fair fee when a child is involved. The rules are not going to be the same across the board, and that's why when you speak with someone about this, you got to make sure that they know the rules where you live or where the injury happened. Here's something else that you may not have thought about with this. Investigating a birth injury case is going to take time to do it. It can take weeks or months just to gather and organize all of the records. We're not talking about the birth itself. Sometimes it's going to involve prenatal care, transfer notes between hospitals, and hundreds of pages of electronic fetal heart monitoring and nursing documentation. And the longer that you wait with this, the more difficult it can become to track down some of that evidence. Hospitals don't hold on to every piece of data forever. Some information, especially electronic data, it can be lost over time. So even though your baby is a minor and there's going to be there may be some legal deadlines that may be extended in some cases, that doesn't protect all of the evidence. This is one reason why it's important to get that investigation going earlier rather than later. You're not rushing into a lawsuit or anything like that. You're taking that first step to understand what may have happened and what types of options you may have. And I want to say this to mothers watching. I know many of you are scared to even ask these types of questions. You're worried about whether you're going to get some pushback from the hospital. You don't want to make it seem like you're blaming anyone too early. But asking questions is not going to be an accusation of anything. It's a way to advocate for your child. It's how you get started to get the answers that you and your family deserve dealing with something like this. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and if you have any other questions about your baby's HIE brain injury at birth or subsequent CP diagnosis from a medical legal standpoint, don't hesitate to reach out and contact me. You can find out more information about me in my profile. My information is there. If you're watching this video on certain types of apps, you can send me a DM and we could chat a little bit about your baby story, or you can just wait and watch the picture that follows the end of this video. All right, that's going to be it for today's quick educational video. Have a great day, everybody.